lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Virtual American Short Track Tour. We are live here at the Bull Ring in Las Vegas for a wild flip there by Mo Perry. But actually, it's the Bad Company Racing. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas 120. A shootout here in the desert. I'm Liam Irving, joined by Corey B up in the booth. And Corey, I know you're a fan of these super lates, but maybe not so much on the asphalt. What are you expecting to see here on this 3/8 mile oval?
I'm expecting to see a little bit of bumper action, maybe some door banging action here. You know, it's a short track. Drivers, we're ending out the season, coming to the end of the season. A couple of races left. Not a whole lot. Points are all important. Aggression's going to be rising as we keep racking up the weeks.
Yes, sir, that's a fact. And Aaron Kralik jumps to the board. Now Ethan Smith top of the board with a 14:45 his first time around. Danny Cochran sits in second. You mentioned the points. Danny Cochran sits in second place in the points. 5 points away from fan favorite Braxton DeWeese. Danny Cochran out here going to try to improve his lap on his third go. Ali Fonseca jumps up to the top of the board with a 14:40.
Ethan Smith, that does not ring a bell. Is he like one of the newer comers here?
No, sir. He's a big league guy. He's been rocking the 00 all season. He's maybe missed the last few, but Ethan Smith, he's one of the more prominent guys in the league. Braxton DeWeese, however, he's going to go top of the board in his first lap. Gonna combat what Danny Cochran did, and as these guys get on later, the clouds are now out and might cool down this track temperature just a little bit, give these later runners a bit more of an advantage as Christopher Smith gets to the top of the board with a 14:35. Braxton DeWeese elects to kill his third lap and stays in second. Isaac Shelley, though, on his first time around, he's gonna get a 14:33, and I think the trend we're seeing is that the first lap on cold tires is gonna be the fast one.
Yeah, this track, it just looks like a track. I did a couple of test and tune laps around here a little bit ago, and it seems like the track surface is going to chew up the tires a little bit more than we're used to seeing. But with that, you know, there is no tire changing in this race, in this league. That's gonna come into factor. You gotta save tires. If you chew up your tires too early on in the race, you just ain't gonna be there at the end.
No, sir, not at all. Like you mentioned, no tire changes. That's going to be a really big factor. We've seen fuel be a factor in these races beforehand, so it'll be interesting to see if some of these guys come in maybe on an early caution to get that thing packed up with fuel. Thomas Green, fourth place on the board. Philip York going to be the last driver to complete a qualifying lap. You see him go sideways coming up off of turn 4. Not going to be able to finish this lap. Justin Coleman, however, he's still on a heater. Philip York's got one more lap to go after his spin there. Justin Coleman can approve. Philip York goes around again, so he's going to try it one more time. A little bit of potential pit speed penalty there, so we're getting right on board with this 97 as he tries one last attempt to improve from 7th place. Right up next to the wall, going to try to cut down, get as much time on the gas, as much speed on the straightaway. One lap for Philip York.
See if he can improve here. He's trying to beat a 14:437. That was his last time.
Touch the apron there. And he's around off the corner. He's not going to improve.
No. Oh. That pretty well wraps up qualifying. Isaac Shelley, he could go out, but it ain't going to count that time. And Mo Perry, he's just hanging around. He's upside down. He's waiting on the time to clock out.
Well, let's go ahead and look at some of the track facts we've got going on here today. It says the Larry Arts production at Bristol. I know I changed that, so I apologize for that. But 65-degree track temp. 2 15-lap heats. Top 12 advance from each one. 120 laps for the feature. 68-degree track temp and just about an eighth of a mile here at, or 3/8 of a mile here, my bad, at the Las Vegas Bull Ring.
Oh, and it's going to shove all 19 of them into one heat race, Liam. So, you know what that means.
Well, I tell you what, you and I might both be a little bit happy about the one heat race, but at the same time, everybody stacked up into one for 15 laps. That's going to give us the best preview we can possibly get for the feature here. That's going to be 120 laps. Isaac Shelley going to lead him down. Waiting on Shelley, Green, Sipes, and should be about it. We should be ready to roll after they get ready to rock and rumble here in the Virtual American Short Track Tour at the Bull Ring.
Let's not forget, it is Braxton DeWeese's birthday, so wish him a good birthday today.
Is it? Happy birthday,
yesterday.
Braxton.
Yesterday, I guess. So a little belated, but either way, happy birthday, Braxton. You're a year older than where you was.
Congratulations on another trip around the sun.
Is that how that works?
Allegedly. And allegedly, the pace car is moving. Isaac Shelley is moving. Thomas Green, Braxton DeWeese, Justin Coleman, Christopher Smith up in the top 5 here, ready to rock and rumble for heat race. What should be the only heat race, the Theta First Responder Mercy Medical Transportation Dash Shootout. We have combined both of the names of the heat races together. Just one good old-fashioned show. Race car gonna take another lap around. This track's interesting because it pulls into the pits on the back straightaway.
Yeah, this is a very unique looking layout for a track. The corners, they are tight. That corner almost looks like a 90-degree angle to an extent. Then the back stretch here, it's like a dog leg, trioval to an extent.
One of the drivers described this track as almost a backwards Richmond, half the size. The corners are similar, straightaways backwards. But Corey, let's take him down.
Here we go, Isaac Shelley on the loud pedal. He gets a good jump out in front of Thomas Green. Gonna look to the back bumper, does make a little contact to Shelley. And Christopher Smith, he is gonna elevate himself into third in front of DeWeese right there. But DeWeese, he's gonna look for the battle, not quite gonna battle.
Not quite. Sideways goes to 14. Justin Coleman hard up into the wall coming out of turn number 2. Gets away okay. No caution's going to come out. You see that 97 Philip York trying to get to the inside of Thomas Green. Thomas Green up next to the wall there. Might have made a little bit of contact. Philip York trying to get to Ali Fonseca's inside. But after that last little bit of contact there with the wall, now he's fighting that 3 car. Ali Fonseca deep to the inside of Christopher Smith in the 21. Trying to chase down Braxton DeWeese, who now sits in second place. Got about 3-4 car lengths, 5 more so. Oh, and we got a crash in the back. Dalton Creech is around. Isaac Shelley had about a second of a lead. That's going to be erased here after 4 laps. Dalton Creech goes around to bring out the first caution. Thomas Walter also caught up in that. Justin Sipes, Todd Lamphere. A lot of guys had to get checked up. A lot of guys with a little bit of contact. We're going to double check, see what happened here.
So you had your Dalton Creech incident, but at the same time, you had Mo Perry going around.
Now let's start with Mo Perry because I believe that's actually what brought out the caution. Todd Lamphere had himself a bit of an incident coming up off of the corner. A lot of those guys making contact there. Everything's still clean and green. Mo Perry sideways coming up off. I'm sure that's what brings out the caution. And then as that goes down, Dalton Creech gets turned around. Justin Sipes nowhere to go. The 54, Brandon Elvis. The 2, Danny Cochran. Nowhere for these guys to go.
Get a peek at a restart here in the one and only heat race. See which line prevails. If I had to make a lucky guess, if I was a betting man and this is Vegas, I'd say the inside.
I would agree. Chris DeWeese says it's Kendall's birthday tomorrow. She would have been 16 years old tomorrow if she was still with us. Miss your little lady. So a happy birthday to Kendall up in heaven, and yeah, we're definitely sorry for your loss there, and hope that you've got a lot of happy memories to look back on. We've got a restart to look forward on as Isaac Shelley and Braxton DeWeese make up the front row. Isaac Shelley hard on the throttle. Braxton DeWeese, nothing he can do as Ali Fonseca now looks to his inside. Nothing doing there. Braxton DeWeese dives it in compared to the race leader, Isaac Shelley there, and we're side by side back for 5th place.
5th place now, Christopher Smith. He'll relegate in front of Ethan Smith. No relation, I do believe. Yeah, no relation there between the 2 Smiths.
Very common last name. We got Chandler and Zane up in the top series of NASCAR, top 3 series over there, but right now we've got some of the best drivers to get her done on short tracks. We've got less than 5 laps to go for Isaac Shelley as he drives away from Braxton DeWeese.
So Shelley, he's figuring out how hard he can push this car, probably to see what the tire will be at the end of the 15 laps. DeWeese, he's kind of maybe saving tires, see what the tire wear is like as well. You see right behind him, though, Green got in the back end of Ollie Fonseca. That opens up the door for Christopher Smith down in turn 1. Not quite going to have the speed going in. So they stay single file back into 7th. First battle going on. That's for 9th. That's Cochran on the bottom. Blaze Richardson going to be left up on the high side. Going to fall behind Walter.
Oh, we got a crash up front. Ollie Fonseca is going to take the lead as Ethan Smith. No, rather, the 98 of Isaac Shelley goes around up front. That's going to bring out the caution. I was just getting ready to bring the camera to Isaac Shelley and start the final call for the win, and he gets turned around. Try to see what happened here as we go back probably a lap in advance. Braxton DeWeese, we know how strong he's been on entry. We see Todd Lamphere just in front of these guys. Does he play a factor in this? Braxton's getting ever so much closer, getting down up into the corner. Little disappearance out of Isaac Shelley. When he comes back, Braxton's into the back of him, spins him around. And I believe Braxton DeWeese is actually going to take the lead from that, but that might be unpopular amongst the Isaac Shelley fans. We know there's a lot of DeWeese fans up in the chat, though. They're going to be happy to see how these guys, going to be happy to see him get it done any which way that he can. Braxton DeWeese now leads heat race number 1, and I guess number 2. We shouldn't have another one after this. The thank a first responder Mercy Medical Transportation Dash. I'm creating my own tongue twister here. So we're going to have another attempt at a restart. Corey, 2 more laps here at the short track. It's only a heat race, but what do you think we're going to see?
Well, I mean, you know, you got Christopher Smith. He's hungry, whether it's for a heat race win or good starting spot in the feature. He's going to line up behind Braxton and DeWeese. I don't know. I've been encouraging Christopher to get out there and hit somebody, and it looks like they're actually going to give Braxton a EOL for causing that wreck. So that'll move up Ollie Fonseca to the lead. Christopher Smith should line up outside the row. This is going to be interesting for that Toyota Supra.
Yeah, Braxton DeWeese made the contact to start off that spin. So he's going to take the EOL there. Now we're going to have, I believe, 1 to green. With 2 laps to go in the heat race. Couple extra laps added onto this one. It was a 15-lap heat race. We're coming up on lap number 20 at the restart. 20 will be the green, 21 will be the white, 22 will be the checkers. We have got 17 hungry drivers ready to rock and rumble here for the final 2 laps, Corey.
Yeah, final 2 laps, green, white, checkered action time. And Ollie Fonseca on the loud pedals. See what Thomas Green can do. He'll get to the inside of Christopher Smith down in turn 1 and 2. And never mind, we're going to see another caution.
Caution is out once again. Trying to look back, see what it's for. I don't see anybody turned around.
Sipes.
Justin Sipes, JT Sipes may have had himself a little bit of contact here at the restart. We'll take a look at him. Immediately, Brandon Elvis got him turned sideways up into the Isaac Shelley machine, spun him back down to the inside, and that's going to be a quick caution. Good call by the league to throw that one out. Definitely want to have a good, clean restart to decide any finish here, let alone if it has the ramifications of where you're going to start in the feature. Ollie Fonseca out front. Christopher Smith in second place. They're going to get a second chance at this restart. Thomas Green, after such a strong run at the beginning of that, the first 2 corners of that restart, got in front of Christopher Smith, but going back to the line, they're going to re-rack it once again.
Yeah, and that may not have been such a bad thing for Thomas Green. He'll be able to restart again on the inside row. Yeah, it's a bad thing in terms of you're going to be, if you get to second, you're going to restart outside row on the feature. But if you get third, you're restarting behind the leader in the feature. So that might be even better than starting second. It's half the one, half the other, I guess, whichever one you want to do. If your car handles better on the bottom on the green flag, or if it handles better on the top side on the green flag.
Well, Corey, how many times have we seen just the leaders able to get away on these restarts? Whoever's in second or third just has no chance.
Yeah.
The guy in the second position, he's generally going to have the chance to fall down in front of the third place guy, but if that third place driver, Thomas Green, right now, is able to stay up on the rear bumper of the 42 as he gets up on the throttle, he might have a chance at trying to make a move here, getting in front of that 21, trying to have a chance at the 42.
Find out here, pace car lights are shut off of the iRacing pace car. It'll dip down on the back straightaway. We're looking for the first set of double cones on the inside and outside wall around this little 3/8 mile track for Ollie Fonseca on the loud pedal. Here we go, and Green with a good launch, but a little
around goes Ethan Smith and Danny Cochran hard into the wall. Go back, take another look at that. This has been a heat race that just would not end. Looks like the 57, Thomas Walters, the one who got into the 00, turned him straight into the rear quarter of Danny Cochran.
It looked like it all started with the 97 Philip York on the green flag there. Maybe a little further back than that.
Yeah, we'll go back about halfway through the last caution lap there. Slow it down once we take the green. Try to decipher. So green flag comes out. Jump up into the blimp. Philip York gets super loose there. Danny Cochran's got to check up. Philip York gets up into the wall. Then the 57, trying to avoid that, comes down, hits that 00. Corey, absolutely right there.
Yeah,
started with that 97.
Go.
Tough break for Danny Cochran there. Along with Ethan Smith. The lights are going to go out on the pace car once again. It's going to be Ollie Fonseca. Thomas Green this time in second.
So we'll see how Christopher Smith can handle himself here on the green flag. If he can get by Thomas Green like Green did to him, or if he, if Christopher Smith wants to play this thing smart, he just hangs in third. He lets Green have second.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's bonus points, but if there isn't bonus points, even if there are bonus points, that 1 point difference might not matter if you're able to get a lane choice that you want.
Well, realistically, you've got 3 guys fighting for a title. 2 of them are 5 points apart. Third place is 35 points back. Points aren't a big thing right here. I think right now, you're absolutely in the right, Corey. You want to take that third place. You want to have the best chance at the start of the feature. But we'll see. Starting up on the outside, Thomas Green might be able to put the fight to Ollie Fonseca. Fonseca gets on the gas. Christopher Smith tries to get down to the inside of Thomas Green. Down there into turn number 1. Not going to be quite enough to complete the pass, but still side by side coming up off of turn number 2. Side by side into 3. He's going to get second place away. He's going to wrestle that spot away, and now Philip York tries to get down to the inside of Thomas Green. Here's Ali Fonseca. He's got himself about half a car length of a lead. He's got 2 more corners to go. White flag in the air. Ali Fonseca. Can he keep the 21 behind him? Half a car length separates him, but off before it's Ali Fonseca. Christopher Smith, and then Thomas Green. Hard into the wall goes Philip York. Aaron Krolick's in 5th. Blaze Richardson, Brandon Elvis, Dakota Moniz. We've already jumped to the features, so we can't quite go through your finishing results, but we will in the form of the grid. So here is your grid here. Ali Fonseca, Christopher Smith in the front row. Then we've got Thomas Green, Philip York, Aaron Krolick, Blaze Richardson, Brandon Elvis, Dakota Moniz, Braxton DeWeese, JT Sipes, Mo Perry, and Justin Coleman in the first half of the field.
You have Ethan Smith, Isaac Shelley, who, unfortunate break there, he had the lead for most of the race and ended up getting spun out. And then you'll have Danny Cochran back in 15th, Todd Lamphere, Thomas Walter, and Dalton Creech in the Tiger Mobile rounding out this field.
Yes, sir. It's the way the heat race finished out. Now we've got 120 laps to get done here at the Bullring. Ali Fonseca going to lead him down over Christopher Smith. A couple things I want to mention in that heat race. Good recovery out of Braxton DeWeese, able to get up to 9th place starting spot after the EOL penalty, racing for the top spot with Isaac Shelley. Isaac Shelley also able to get up to 11th place starting spot. So definitely a good recovery for him later on in that show. Now we've got 120 laps in front of us. Corey, what makes this so much different than the race that we just saw?
Well, you know, it's 105 laps longer if you account for it just going into regular time. They did end up running 33 laps with all the overtimes we had. But, you know, you just got to be patient. It's said every week in the drivers' meeting, patience is the key. Here we go. Ali Fonseca. He'll have the control. Get to that restart box, and Christopher Smith, he had a little bit of help from Philip York. Maybe not going to get the black flag, but that ain't going to help. Oh, no.
Was that DeWeese sideways in the back? Caution's going to come out. Doesn't look like it was a major deal, but Braxton DeWeese got sideways. They didn't like what they saw there at the restart. They're going to re-rack and try it again. See what happened here to Braxton. Got a bump from Mo Perry. Super sideways. An amazing save out of the 8. Doesn't hit anything. Kind of surprised that they threw the yellow there, but I tell you what, when you got a car wreck in mid-pack, you'd rather err on the side of caution, and I don't blame them for it. Just kind of after the fact, you realize it's not going to be so bad. Good call on the leak to throw the caution there, get a re-rack, get a restart, tried again. Tough break for Braxton DeWeese, though, as he's now back to 11th place.
They did end up giving Thomas Walter the end of the line penalty for bringing that out, and he got into the back end of Braxton, I think.
You know, I'm not sure it should have been Thomas Walter. I think Mo Perry's the one who got
oh, never mind.
Him. Yeah, Mo Perry is serving that penalty.
Yeah, I'm looking at something else, I guess.
Yeah, Thomas Walter, he was got into.
He's already at the back.
Yeah, made a bit of contact at the end of the last heat race, and that might have been at least what the fans are upset about in the chat here. Tell you what, we appreciate everybody who's tuning in here live on Sim Racing Media. If you guys aren't already a part of the family, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you never miss a race. We've got fantastic racing 7 nights a week. If you like what you're seeing here, you're going to love what you see 6 other days. I tell you what, we've got prime time shows, and we've even got a couple day shows on Thursdays and Fridays. So whether you're trying to find something to, fall asleep to, or try to find something to supplement your lack of NASCAR, they got rained out today. Green flag's back out for Ali Fonseca. He's got himself a car length of a lead over second place Christopher Smith, who's making a strong run up top. But yeah, no matter what you're looking for, racing action is happening here on Sim Racing Media. Go ahead and become a member of the family. Hit that subscribe button. Now here comes Thomas Green back to the inside of 21, Christopher Smith. Aaron Kralik not too far behind these guys. Philip York getting shoved up to the outside. He's going to lose a couple of spots.
Yeah, good battle there for second. Green on the inside of Christopher Smith. Smith will clear Green down in turn number 1, so that moves him back up to second. Green to third. Kralik there in fourth. First side-by-side battle. That's Brandon Elvis in the white with red numbers on the inside, and then you have Philip York with a white with blue numbers on the outside. That's York, the battle for fifth.
York making that outside lane work on the straightaways. This back straightaway kind of similar to Richmond's front stretch. Little bit of contact between York and Elvis there coming up off of turn number 4. York lets up off of the gas, and the caution comes out once again. This time for Dalton Creech. Upside down goes that 36. Contact from Thomas Walter on the 57.
He just wanted some belly rubs.
Suppose that makes sense with the Tiger paint scheme. Cats do love the belly rubs. Probably not what Creech was going for there, as the contact there was made with Walter. Walter's still up on his outside. Just come together.
Luckily ended up on all 4 poles there.
Cats always land on their feet.
It's a very big... Is a tiger a part of the kitty cat line?
Yes, sir. It's a feline.
Okay, that's what I thought. Maybe
Cats.
I'm thinking of a lion.
Yeah, lions are still felines.
Oh.
Lions, cheetahs, panthers, tigers.
You're watching the Animal Planet Network. I'm kidding. You're watching Sim Racing Media. This is the virtual All-Star Short Track Tour. Virtual American. My bad. I get that mixed up sometimes.
It's all right. These guys are definitely all-stars as they run out here. 12 laps complete. The pace car's lights have gone off. We are ready to rock and rumble for another quick restart. These guys in the Bad Company Racing 120 have absolutely put on a show so far, but we've had a couple of quick cautions. Haven't had the chance for these tires to wear out. We know how abrasive this circuit is gonna be. So we'll see what happens for these next 107 laps here as these guys come to the restart once again. Ollie Fonseca hard on the throttle. Thomas Green back to his inside, going to try to take second place away. And that lead spot is so advantageous on these restarts. Brandon Elvis takes the inside, gets around Aaron Kralik. Around goes Philip York. Philip York saves it. Caution's going to come out behind him as Aaron Kralik goes around. Justin Sipes gets turned as well. These guys are absolutely struggling to get her fired off on these restarts. Everybody going for the same space. Ends up causing a problem with Braxton. Oh, not Braxton. Aaron Kralik. Braxton might have made some contact there, but you saw Philip York get super sideways there, and the big checkup behind him happened as everybody was trying to slow down, find the correct spot on the track to be. We're going to take another look here.
You see a little contact between York and Elvis. And then going down turn 3, Coleman gets into the back of York and then in the back of Kralik and DeWeese. Nice little tire shot. If this is a demolition derby, that would have been a nice hit.
It would have been, but it is not. We're
trying to go in circles here.
Yeah, it's a tough break. It's a tough way to start. Nobody wants to start this way, and it's, nothing as a fault of the league. It's just, you get so many cars up in this short track. Something happens up in front of you. It's almost like a plate race, or a plate race. You get these chain reactions happening in front of you. You just... Oh, we'll see with Justin Sipes. He was slowed down past the crash, but Isaac Shelley also trying to check up for the crash, ends up getting into the back of him, turns him around. Kyle Petty always said at a plate track, you've got the initial crash and then you've got a follow-up wreck. And I think with short track racing, with these cars as tight and close together as they are, you're going to see a bit more of that. Lights still on the pace car. Ali Fonseca leads over Thomas Green, Christopher Smith, Brandon Elvis, Philip York, Danny Cochran, Ethan Smith, Justin Sipes with a good recovery there after the spin, Blaze Richardson, and Todd Lamphere rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, so now with Christopher Smith, he's in the lane he needs to be in, on that inside. Maybe. I mean, we've seen a couple of these drivers utilize that outside line fairly decently, like Philip York, who's starting behind Christopher Smith.
I feel like from what I've seen, the outside lane is really good on the front straightaway when the straightaway is straight. It tightens up out of the corner. But when you're coming down the back straightaway, it's a lot tougher. We'll see on this restart, though. Ali Fonseca hard up under the throttle. Thomas Green has nothing to do. Christopher Smith got caught out to dry there as he's got Brandon Elvis now working his outside. Slides up a little bit wide. Loose is the 21. Elvis with a bit of an advantage up into turn 3. But that bottom side going towards the 21. Philip York trying to figure out which way to go, who to follow.
Battle is there for third. You got Christopher Smith on the inside of Brandon Elvis. Elvis, he's utilizing the outside momentum. Not sure how long.
Oh, and around goes Elvis.
Everyone. Well, okay, I gave him the jinx. Oh, boy.
Caution comes out once again, this time for Brandon Elvis going around on the front straightaway. No, it doesn't come out. We're still green.
No, it's out.
Oh, dude, my bad. My graphic messed up there. It showed green for a second, and I apologize about that. But thanks for Corey being on that. We're going to go back and double check what happened there. So side by side with Christopher Smith, Lewis coming up off of the corner just goes around on him. Philip York nowhere to go but to make contact, does a quick 360 and drives away.
Did pinch Danny Cochran up in the wall as well with Philip York. So some damage on those automobiles.
Now what you want to have happen early on, just past 20 laps into the show. Lights are coming on, though. The sun's going down. You see the mountains in the background, definitely covering up that sunset. It's a beautiful racetrack, a beautiful circuit, good area.
And if you look a little bit off in the distance, you see the big NASCAR track. With its lights turned on, I can't believe they're... it's their power bill.
Okay, we'll just keep it on. The only thing that sucks is that you have to buy a separate track to see this, you know? Lights are off on the pace car. Ali Fonseca is going to lead him down. He's led every single one. He hasn't had a lot of chance for anybody to get to his back bumper. We'll see if this time rolls any different. Talked to a lot of drivers in the pre-race before we were live. These guys know how tough this track is, how abrasive it's going to be, and how tough it is on cold tires. So we're going to see what we see on this restart, Corey.
Absolutely. Ali Fonseca going to bring him to the two-cone. There we go. On the loud pedal. Thomas Green with a good launch. He'll be door-to-door out of turn number 2 of Ali Fonseca. Fonseca nosing out down the backstretch. Green, he's going to lean on the right rear quarter of Fonseca. That opens up the door now for Christopher Smith on the inside of Thomas Green, and caution is out. Not sure who's going to get scored in second, but look for your wreck. It looks like maybe Thomas Walter.
Mo Perry got turned around initially coming through turns 3 and 4. Thomas Walter has just gone from the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad race to even worse. We'll go back and take a look to see what happened there. Mo Perry caught up in that one. go back from the restart. See Crowley going deep there on the inside, onto the apron.
That ain't gonna work. Maybe a little contact from DeWeese there into Mo Perry, and look at this. It just slams DeWeese into that wall. Wow.
Everything stacked up so quickly there after the initial contact between DeWeese and Mo Perry. Now here's a good time to remind you that these drivers have a hard out at, I believe, 28x. So there's a 28 incident point limit. If you hit that, you're out. There is no appeal. Whether it's a wall contact or a car contact, once you get over that limit.
Yeah, so few of them got to be thinking about not getting into too many incidents.
Corey, correct me if I'm wrong. You may have access to how many incident points everybody has, correct?
No, I do not.
No, he doesn't. No. So our software not quite where we want it to be for this type of situation. But a lot of early cautions happening here at the 3A Mile track in Las Vegas. It's a super tough racetrack, super abrasive, and we have a lot of cars ready to rock and rumble here for another restart. 31 laps complete, going to be 32 at the line.
There we go. Fonseca wants
wow, big loose. Big loose out of the 3 and the 97 there. It's going to give the 21 a chance to get right up. I mean, he gets through and right up to the back bumper of Fonseca. Now Fonseca goes wide, racing for the lead. Doesn't quite happen there as we're watching the battle for 5th place. Justin Sipes, after going around earlier in this race, you see Ethan Smith getting loose there in the middle. Big time action happening everywhere on this track, and I wish I just had a spotter's cam or a drone cam so I could just look from the tippy top and look at everything, every corner. There's so much racing action. Ethan Smith loose once again, going to try to get down in front of Dalton Creech. Not going to happen this time around as these guys work through 3 and 4. The race lead still hold on to by Ali Fonseca, but Christopher Smith not letting him get away at all. Here comes Thomas Green in 3rd place. Lap 35, going to be 36 this time around. Tell you what, this bull ring is something else in terms of short track racing.
Absolutely it is, but I mean, right now the battle is on for the lead once again. Christopher Smith, he looked for the inside of Fonseca, and Fonseca, he kind of aggressively blocked there. I can't imagine Smith is going to be too happy with that. But, you know, he's got to play it smart. If he makes contact and race control deems it as Smith's incident, he'll get an EOL. But look at this. We got a caution. It's a Tiger mobile at the back going around.
Yeah, Dalton Creech around once again. Like you were saying, though, if Christopher Smith were to spin that Ali Fonseca machine, he would have to go to the back. That would open it up for Thomas Green. So you want to make that pass for the lead clean. We're going to take a look to see what happened to bring out the caution as you see Dalton Creech racing with that 5 machine. Dakota Moniz. Haven't talked about him at all today. Kind of looks like we're going to talk about him in the wrong way. Maybe not so much. He gets loose there. Dalton Creech does. Aaron Krolick into the back of him. Little bit of net code ends up being the culprit, but Krolick, the one who makes the contact. Brings out the caution once again. Going to be 40 laps complete this time around.
So just a third of the way through this race here. Been Ali Fonseca out at the front for all 41 circuits. Been a flip-flop between Green and Smith for 2nd and 3rd for the most part. Cochran, he's moved up 11 spots on the night. He's right now your hard charger. He's riding in 4th.
Yeah, good recovery for Danny Cochran. We saw him into the wall pretty hard early on in this show.
That car definitely showing a little bit of damage on the front end. As long as it's just cosmetic. This track does not care much for the aerodynamics as long as it somewhat turns right and turns to the left. I mean, well, I said turn right, you know, race fans know what I meant to say, but, you know, if it turns left nice and good, semi-straight on the straightaways, yeah, it's alright. He'll be fine. You know, I was talking with Danny before this race, asking him if he was going to win, and he said, sure.
Yeah, Danny Cochran, you know, you kind of came at him with the question, are you going to win? He said, sure, yeah, I'm going to win. Can't imagine a race car driver says no to that question, but you got to love the confidence out of Danny Cochran. We've got Ali Fonseca about ready to lead him down with Christopher Smith.
There we go, in the restart box. Ali Fonseca once again on the loud pedal. See what Christopher Smith can do. Can he slot in behind him? He does. But look at this contact right there behind him. Philip York got in the back of Danny. Danny now side by side with Justin Sipes. It's a battle for fourth in that outside lane. That's just not where you want to be. Isaac Shelley now looking on the inside of Danny. Philip York, he has pressure from behind. That might be Ethan Smith. It is Ethan Smith, and Philip up on the wall there a little bit. Allows Ethan Smith to get by. Now York under pressure from Brandon Elvis.
Yes, sir, but under pressure is the name of the top three. They're all under a blanket right here. Here's Christopher Smith trying to push on the back bumper of the 42. Not quite close enough to bring the pressure in terms of a bump, but he goes in. Ali Fonseca goes in deep. He goes wide coming up off of the corner. That's going to give Christopher Smith a chance to get in closer. Meanwhile, Thomas Green, he's been up in the top three all night, trying to figure out a way around that 21 under green flag conditions. We're approaching 50 laps complete and just a few times around. Justin Sipes with a big loose moment there coming up off of turn number 2 has made a phenomenal recovery here as he goes wide there. Isaac Shelley tries to look down to the inside, nothing doing there. Danny Cochran able to fall back in line into 6th place. Still recovers. He's up 9 places from where he started. We saw him up into the fence earlier on, but we've got ourselves a side-by-side battle for second as Thomas Green makes the pass on the inside of Christopher Smith to take 2nd place away. Justin Sipes trying to follow.
Smith not able to get to the bottom lane there. That's opening the door for Sipes. Oh,
Shelley
Sipes
got into the back of
door.
Sipes there. Pushes Sipes through. Maybe not intended the way it went down, but Isaac Shelley going to be able to get to the inside. Danny Cochran now trying to follow through.
Smith being on that outside lane, he is starting to drop back. He's got to try to find a gap or make a gap down on the bottom, whether that be by force or by natural selection.
Tell you what, he was trying to force it there, but Danny Cochran down on the inside. That big pitch coming through the corner, and Brandon Elvis goes around. Brandon Elvis with the spin all by himself coming up off of the corner. We're going to take another look to see what happened. I don't think he got hit. This happened right behind the battle we were watching. He's all by himself here coming up off of the corner. Oh, he does get hit by Philip York. Sends him around real quick. 360 for that Bad Racing Company machine. Bad Company Racing machine. That's going to bring out the caution here for the 7th time today.
Something tells me that Brandon Elvis maybe races a little bit on the dirt side a lot. Well, he has that number on the roof place. That's kind of how I have my number on my roof place.
Hey, you're probably not wrong, Corey.
I mean, that's...
Dirt knows dirt.
He has he's being scored as a 054. He has the word 0 and then the 54. So he probably is either a true die-hard short track racer or he comes from a little bit of dirt background.
That might be the case, but we'll find out in just a few quick moments. We're going to step side by side real quick and be back with you for the rest of the race. Back to green flag racing. Sorry for missing the restart. We're already back under yellow, though. Thomas Walter has had himself an issue. We'll double check to see what happened there.
Maybe Mo
Apologies.
Perry.
Yeah, we see the two of them side by side. Apologies for missing that restart there. Things happen fast at the short tracks. Try to do better than Fox, and Mo Perry sideways up into the corner. Swings back up and clips the 57. So Ali Fonseca. Sorry.
Walter just has not had the night he wanted. He started back in the 17th. He's been involved in about every wreck so far in this race. He's got to be. I'm interested to see what incident points he's at.
Yeah, just past the halfway, 63 laps complete this time around. 8 cautions into this thing. Definitely know some guys are going to be up there in terms of incident points. Thomas Walter elects to come into the pits to get some of that optional fixed. But Ali Fonseca is going to lead over JT Sipes, who's made his way up into second place after we saw him spin out earlier on. Isaac Shelley got turned around early on in the heat race, had to recover from the back.
So your hard charger is now Isaac Shelley.
Up 11 spots where he started. Lights should be out on the pace car here, getting ready for a restart just past halfway.
Little caution heavy, but that's to be expected here at a little bull ring. It is in the name. It's Las Vegas Bull Ring.
Yes, sir. I mean, still not as bad as the night at Bowman Gray, but Ali Fonseca hard up out of the throttle, takes the green flag, and look at Justin Sipes up out of the top side. JT doing a strong run up top, but here comes Isaac Shelley down to the bottom. These guys able to fan out a bit during that curved back straightaway. Isaac Shelley gets into the back of JT Sipes, and around they go. Caution comes out once again.
Oh, man, heartbreak there for Shelley and Sipes. I'm sure Shelley is going to get dinged with an EOL here. We'll see what race control does, but we'll take a look at it under replay.
Not sure. With that replay there, we'll go ahead and slow it down once you get up in here. Sipes seems to come down a little bit on the front bumper of Shelley, and that contact is made. Sipes out here running in second place, trying to do everything he can to chase down that race leader. Arcs up the corner a little bit. We'd have to go back a little bit further to see truly what happened there. Sipes wide into the corner and comes down. Shelley had the nose there, but there was really no way for Sipes to know.
That'd be a tough call as a race control out there. We'll allow them to make the decisions while we sit up here and speculate.
Well, as far as I know, if you make contact, you're going to the back. And I think that's what we're going to see, which is a tough break for Mr. Shelley there, but we'll see. That might have been deemed a racing incident. And both of those guys were able to get through it way okay. I mean, we've got third and fourth place. They switched spots with each other, but they haven't lost a spot. We'll see what they deem acceptable here, but we're 9 cautions into the race. Lap 70 out of 120.
Race control has extended this caution period by an extra lap.
Likely to investigate that previous incident.
Definitely under review for that wreck between Shelley and Sipes.
And the way I see it, say I'm Danny Cocker and Christopher Smith, somebody who's behind this. I say,
There you have it.
They wrecked. There's no way I should be behind both of them. And yep, there you have it. Isaac Shelley getting that EOL. JT Sipes with an amazing save there, getting turned sideways by the 98, is going to be able to hold on to his third place position. Like I was saying there, I mean, if you're sitting behind that, you're going to be upset if you're behind both of them. Probably a little upset being behind one if you saw them both spin, but one's better than nothing. Guess we'll find out here on this restart, though. Ali Fonseca, Thomas Green, Danny Cochran, JT Sipes ready to lead them down.
There we go. Fonseca once again on the loud pedal. This is going to allow Sipes now to get to the inside of Thomas Green. Those two are side by side. This is a battle for second. Heating you up. You see Danny Cochran right there behind. Oh,
Ali Fonseca's around. Big crash.
Oh, my. Big one.
Maybe not as big as I initially thought, but Ethan Smith, Justin Coleman, both around on the front straightaway. Contact was made with Ali Fonseca, who spun from the lead. That's, if not big by amount of cars, that's big in terms of how this race plays out.
Oh, and I imagine if you're Ali Fonseca, you are not too happy about that move. I mean, I understand it's a short track, but maybe a little early to attempt a bump and run.
Definitely early. You do not want to give somebody the chance to get back to you.
They are
Oh, man.
ding Sipes for it.
Yeah, Sipes got in there deep. I don't know if he expected the 42 to stay up top, but he drove in there deep. Got into the back of the 42, turned him sideways, and that got Ethan Smith, Justin Coleman involved as well.
Christopher Smith picking up a little bit of damage here in the process. Hopefully that car handles all right still. Oh, and Liam, we have our first victim to the incident limit.
Don't tell me.
It is.
Is it Ethan? Oh, it's Braxton.
Yeah, no.
Braxton DeWeese. Poor guy, and hope we don't lose out on our fantastic viewership. But Braxton DeWeese caught up in this one. That was it for him.
Heartbreak there.
Yeah, really tough deal for Braxton. He was super strong, but we're coming to the restart here. Danny Cochran going to lead him down in the pole position.
Maybe he's blinking in and
out.
out.
Thomas Green was on the front row. Thomas Green blinking in and out, unsure of what he's got going on there, but he holds on to the race lead. Here comes Danny Cochran looking down to the inside. Ali Fonseca sideways back behind him. Aaron Crawley goes around. Mo Perry goes around. The caution comes out once again. And we are struggling here.
There's got to be a few of them back here that are about one ding away from being knocked out of this race on incident points. I can't imagine there's too many to be handed out.
Thomas Green holds out of the race lead over Danny Cochran. We'll go ahead and take another look to see what happened to bring that caution out, but I tell you what, Corey, these guys cannot be happy to see all of the yellows coming out the way that they are. Mo Perry gets a boot from Dalton Creech.
Yeah,
slide it in deep there. My guess is he hits Aaron Kralik. Yes, he does. Gets them both turned around.
Yeah, just maybe braked a little earlier than Creech expected, and when he got booted, went for a whale of a slide. And Kralik, I mean, you know, they always say it always hurts harder when you get hit when you're not expecting it. And I'm sure Kralik is going to be feeling that tomorrow. Oh, you mean to tell me we're in a virtual racing simulator? They don't get hurt, Liam?
Oh, no, very, very tough contact. Very, very hurt feelings, if anything. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is, it's been a blast to watch the racing as it's been going on up front. It's just been slowed down by multiple cautions here. We're unable to really see what these guys have, but tell you what, we got 39 laps to go, getting ready for another restart. Thomas Green, Danny Cochran, Ali Fonseca, Christopher Smith, Brandon Elvis, Blaze Richardson, Dalton Creech, Dakota Moniz, Isaac Shelley, and Thomas Walter rounding out the top 10. We're going to get ourselves another restart here as on the gas goes Thomas Green. He's going to get away by about 2 car lengths. Danny Cochran trying up on the top side to keep that 42 to his inside. Ali Fonseca, quick all race, got turned around a little bit earlier, was able to keep his spot by not going around all the way, sits in second place. Can he bring the fight to Thomas Green, or is it going to continue to be a leader's battle? Onto the inside, Christopher Smith over Danny Cochran. That's going to be a completed pass coming up off of turn number 2. Cochran looks at the crossover, doesn't happen coming up into turns 3 and 4, but we've got a side-by-side battle just through the top 10. Isaac Shelley and Blaze Richardson.
You got Isaac Shelley. Oh, we may be having another caution. It's a Tiger machine once again. Dalton Creech is around at the back, facing up on the wall.
Looks like he's going to jump to the pits, which might be a little bit of solace for some of these drivers. Getting that car up out of the way and not trying to drive a damaged car across the racetrack is definitely something that these leaders are going to appreciate. But let's take a look to see what happened to Dalton Creech to bring out yet another caution. Ball rode it a bit, got sideways, nosed it up into the fence. Tough deal for Dalton Creech. He's going to spend some time on the pit lane getting that stuff repaired and taking the tow. Thomas Green leads Ali Fonseca, Christopher Smith, Danny Cochran, Brandon Elvis to round out your top 5. We're going to be right back with the finish of this one. Green flag out in the air. Thomas Green over Ali Fonseca. Christopher Smith misses the restart there. Now Ali Fonseca back into second over Danny Cochran and Christopher Smith. And round goes Christopher Smith. We're at 13 cautions in 90 laps.
Blaze Richardson falling victim to the incident limit in that incident.
It's really a tough way to fall out of a race due to the incident limit, especially when you're a driver like, say, Braxton Louise, where you find yourself getting caught up in more stuff than you've caused. You hit some stuff, you get those 4Xs. Might have been a little bit of contact from Brandon Elvis that got the 50 or got the 21 spun around. The incident point limit is in place for a good reason. You definitely don't want to have a bunch of people causing crashes, coming out here winning the race, causing issues at the end, and taking the benefits from it. But at the same time, as a driver, when you get disqualified for that reason, it's dejecting. You know, it's frustrating. It's not the way you want to have your race in.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate break for Christopher Smith. Having one of his better races there. And
With Thomas Green, he's out here trying to close up the gap. He was 35 points off of second place Danny Cochran, who sits in third. Points leader Braxton DeWee is now out of the race in 18th place. There's some points to be gained here for that number 3 if he can hold on to this race lead for the next 27 laps. But all he's got to do right now is stay in front of that 2 car. He's gaining points on both drivers. Pace car's made that hard left turn, Corey.
Here we go. Green on the loud pedal once again. Fonseca, he'll fall into second. Danny able to slide into third here. First battle, that is Isaac Shelley, who's now able to get ahead of Dakota Muniz, who's not been up at the front all night long, and a little checkup there.
4 wide down the front straightaway. Crawlett, Coleman, Perry, and Walter. A couple of them think better of it. Perry next to the inside wall lets off the most. He falls back and try to recover a couple of these spots. You see the top 2 getting away from each other. 5 car lengths separate the leaders, and about 10 separating second from third. But 5th place is where the big battle is up front right now, as Dakota Muniz gets down to the inside of Justin Sipes. Sipes doing everything he can up on the top side, can't hold out of the spot. He's going to have to relinquish that spot to the 5. Dakota Muniz into the top 5. 5 car in 5th, and around goes Justin Coleman.
The J14 around.
It's like a bump from Thomas Walter in the 57. We'll jump back a little bit further. Tough break for Justin Coleman there. Appreciate everybody tuning in. It's like everybody's coming into all these damaged cars, at least coming into the pits. Brandon Elvis, Todd Lamphere, Justin Coleman. Appreciate everybody tuning in here live on Sim Racing Media. Definitely been a good show when we've been able to see these guys race side by side. But as conducive as this track is to good side-by-side racing, it also seems to bring out the cautions. We've seen a lot of those tonight too. We've got 20 laps to go here at the short track in Las Vegas. Bad Company Racing 120. Happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas. Shootout. Lights are off on the pace car though. Thomas Green getting ready to lead them down with less than 20 laps to go. And I tell you what, if you thought it was intense before, the intensity is about to heat up even more. Pace car goes down to the inside, makes that hard left turn. Thomas Green and Ollie Fonseca on the front row. Danny Cochran, Isaac Shelley, Dakota Muniz, JT Sipes onto the green flag. Hard onto the throttle is Thomas Green. Ollie Fonseca's defending now from Danny Cochran as Cochran dives it in deep. He's got the better angle coming up off of the corner, but the momentum goes in the way of the 42. Going through 3 and 4 this time. Shorter run for the 2. Coming up off of turn 4, though, the 42 stays heavy set up on the top side. Seems like Cochran able to touch that apron a little bit, gets him pointed. He's going to make the pass now. Isaac Shelley trying to take third away from Fonseca. Contact is made that helps Shelley turn, but doesn't help his car get the grip. Ollie Fonseca's going to take away third place over Isaac Shelley. Dakota Muniz, JT Sipes. Now Ethan Smith has Christopher Smith all over his back bumper.
Owen Shelley once again on the inside of Ollie Fonseca. Setting in pretty deep. That time was able to power out. See if he can officially get around.
Not quite clear yet.
Clear.
This time he's going to get it, though, as Dakota Muniz forces his way down to the inside of Ollie Fonseca. Put Isaac Shelley into third, and Ollie Fonseca trying to take fourth.
Dakota Muniz right there. Battle for fourth is on. Knees now out in front. Sipes on the inside of Fonseca. And Fonseca, he's just trying his hardest. He needs to find a gap. He might, if he wants to. He's got a gap right there behind Sipes. And around comes Sipes right in the restart zone. And he'll immediately take that car to the pit area. Oh, he got DQ'd.
He may have gotten DQ'd. Yep, he did. He got turned there. Tough break for JT Sipes. Well, rather, he did the turning. We're going to take another look here. We're going to see him get into the back of the 5, Dakota Moniz. And both of them get sideways. They both save it, but the incident point's going to be enough to take Sipes out of this race. Not the way we want to see guys fall out of this thing, but attrition happens in the way that it does. So it looks like he was fine until he got hit by the other car there and took him out. Coming up to 10 laps to go. Appreciate everybody sticking this one out. It's been a phenomenal show here at the Bull Ring. We've seen it relatively caution heavy, not giving these guys a chance up front to really race it out, which means in these last 10 laps with a limited number of cars, we might really see ourselves a fantastic show. Danny Cochran. Corey, you talked to him before the race. He seemed confident about the win. Thomas Green, however, is trying to cut that gap in points down as much as he can. Seeing the second place driver in points right on his outside, though, cannot feel good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and Danny, I'd say Danny isn't gonna quite do anything to wreck Thomas, but he might put a little bumper to him if he has the opportunity to. The lights are shut off on the pace car, the safety vehicle. It'll pull down to the infield, down the back straightaway. Green, he's going to be looking for these two orange cones down here in turn number 4, and maybe a little bit before. On the loud pedal, Cochran slotting right in front of Isaac Shelley, but look at that contact between Fonseca and Moniz. Sends Moniz up the track. Now it opens up the door for Coleman on the inside of Fonseca. That's the battle for 4th.
Coleman able to get through for a top 5 spot. Now racing Fonseca. Dakota Moniz loses the spot to Kralik, and now Christopher Smith gets down to the inside, trying to take that spot away. Moniz deep into the entry. So is the 21 of Smith. Got down out of the apron, but not enough on exit. Put Moniz in front of Smith. Thomas Green, however, has a mirror full of Danny Cochran with 5 laps to go at the line. Danny Cochran is trying to do everything he can to increase his points lead as the caution. No, sir. Nope. Sorry about that. We got Thomas Green leading the race. 4 laps to go over Danny Cochran. 3 car lengths separate them. We've got ourselves a battle for 3rd places. Coleman looked to the inside of Shelley. He's going to look once again. Shelley goes wide, coming up off of turn number 2. Here comes Coleman down to the inside. He's going to be able to take that spot. Can Shelley get a crossover? He looks down to the bottom. Nothing doing there. No momentum. He's not going to be able to do it. 3 laps to go, rather, for the race leader, Thomas Green. We've got battles happening towards the mid to the back of the pack. 2 more laps for Thomas Green as he crosses the line. Here's Christopher Smith trying to figure out a way around Dakota Moniz. Moniz has lost a couple of spots on this. Around goes Isaac Shelley. And he might be out of this thing.
Yeah, it's showing Mo Perry DQ'd, and didn't quite officially see Shelley on the DQ list, but he has taken it garage side.
So we're going to see a green-white checker, much like we did in the heat races. In the heat race. So what happened to Shelley here? He's defending from Fonseca, gets in too deep, goes sideways. Mo Perry gets hit and gets disqualified.
So there's 10 cars left. 10 cars on the lid lap. If you're on the track, you're guaranteed a top 10 right now.
And here's what I'll say about the incident points, the SR system, and all that. A lot of people get mad. A lot of people get upset. Well, it wasn't my fault. Why should I lose points? You should look at the SR system as the money you bring to the track, right? If you run clean races, you don't get hit, you don't hit stuff, you come away with pretty much everything you brought to the track, right?
Okay, you're opening up a big old can of worms
Big
here,
old
Liam.
can of worms. I get it, right? It doesn't matter hit or be hit. The contact is made, you've had these troubles during the race, and it's tough. Not all of it's your fault, but sometimes you get caught up in crashes that aren't your fault. It's not the way you want to end a race, but I gotta say hitting 28Xs is probably a little bit better than just not getting through the damaged vehicle policy. To end that topic, we got lights are off on the pace car. 2 more laps to get her done.
Green white checkered attempt number 1 here for Thomas Green. See if we can get around to the start finish line. Take that white flag, and then they can kill each other. Here we go. Green on the loud pedal. Cochran, he's going to slot in front of Justin Coleman. The battle is now on for top 3, and maybe we might see a battle here for the lead. Cochran, he was almost to the quarter panel.
He's getting there
White
through the
flag.
middle. Around goes Aaron Kralik. They take the white flag. Can Danny Cochran get to the back of Thomas Green, or is he going to be able to extend, or rather catch up on the points lead? 2 more corners to go. Danny Cochran dives it in deep. A little bit of a bump. He gets him sideways. Sideways goes Thomas Green. Ollie Fonseca around the top side to win the race. Thomas Green second. Danny Cochran in third.
Timing and scoring showing Cochran second, Coleman third. Green officially fourth, and I'm sure Green has a few choice words that he's saying to Danny Cochran at the moment. And
we're going to look at that white flag one more time here. Well, rather, that contact that was made. We're going to let timing and scoring adjust. Go up to the blimp here, let timing and scoring adjust, but we know Ollie Fonseca is our winner, so we'll get him up in the booth. Ollie, I tell you what, man, you definitely did not have the car to get the job done in that green-white checker, but you did it. Contact was made in front of you. Walk us through that green-white checker, and how did you get the job done?
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know what happened there in front of me. I think Danny might have drove it in there and it maybe got into it. I really have no idea. I just saw Thomas getting loose off the corner, and I was just trying to get third and salvage, a podium after, being spun there, and I just got a good run off the corner, and it was just barely enough to beat him. And yes! Awesome.
I love it. I love that celebration there. I love the excitement you got, man. That was a phenomenal race. But even... there it is.
You told me to, so.
I told you to. Yes, I did. If I interviewed you, bring one of them out. Didn't have to do a roast. Instead, you roast the tires on this victory burnout. But Ollie, man, this was a phenomenal race. You didn't really drop outside of the top 5. Walk us through I wouldn't say walk us through, but talk about the speed you had in this race car throughout the course of the day.
I gotta be honest with you, it definitely isn't my favorite racetrack. And I knew I could, maybe get a top 5, that was kind of the goal coming into tonight, just get a decent finish and try to, rebound in the points a little bit. And, yeah, I don't know. What really gave it to me was the heat race there. I forget. I think it was Braxton and Shelley got into it, and same thing. I just kind of drove around them and locked that up. And then the end of that is kind of what got me out front. And those are constant restarts, man. It was just ridiculous. Just so many times having to try to not let the guy outside of me guess when I was gonna go. And every single time I tried to do something a little different. And there were a couple times where I really thought I was gonna get beat, and I got through halfway, and I thought, okay, I just gotta survive a little bit longer, just a couple more, and I'll have this locked up. And then I got ran over. And once I got ran over and had to start in third, I knew it was gonna take some sort of miracle to get me up front. Because once you're up front here, you just can't. The only way to pass is to be on the inside. So just kept on digging and trying to hopefully start on the inside. And if it wasn't for the caution fest, I was hoping that those few times when I was right behind Thomas, I might have been able to size him up and get around him. I just never got a chance to do so. So I had no choice but to just kind of ride around and finish where I was supposed to. But yeah, it's the way it goes sometimes, man. I'm thrilled I finished where I should have, because I definitely should have been in the lead late, if it wasn't for getting spun there. So that's good. That's always fun to rebound from that.
Yeah, awesome stuff, dude. We saw you with a little bit of a spin and win, a little contact earlier on, but before we hang you loose, who do you want to thank for such a strong run here today?
Yeah, absolutely. Just, my parents, my grandparents, the guys that, watch me and root me on in this league. It's always, this league is where I got to blow off some steam. It's just fun for me, man. I just love running these cars, even though some of these tracks aren't my best tracks. I just love perfecting my craft in cars that are just way harder to drive. It just takes a lot more skill, and it's really nice to come out here and refine that a little bit. So that's always a blast. Thanks to you guys for putting these broadcasts on for us. You guys do a hell of a job. We appreciate it. Thank you so much for getting this league out there. Yeah, just a awesome night. Thank you guys so much.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for putting on a hell of a show. We'll hopefully be talking to you again in the coming weeks.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
That was Ollie Fonseca, your race winner. It doesn't look like we're trying to get Thomas Green up in here for second place. Doesn't look like we're able to get him at the moment, so we're going to jump over to third
Cochran
place.
that got second.
Danny Cochran finished second?
Yeah.
Well,
that's what my
break
timing
the
and
fourth
scoring
wall.
has.
Yep. Danny Cochran breaking the fourth wall shows Danny Cochran and Justin Coleman. So, yeah, the software has gone wrong, but iRacing has it correct. Danny Cochran is in second. And we've got Danny's interview with Court. Oh, wrong one. There we go.
Hey there, Danny. You got a copy on me?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, okay. Be truthful. Where did you tell your crew to put that transponder at? Is it on the front of the car?
Can't answer that question right now. We got to make it through post race tech first before I can tell you that. What I can say though is that I'm truly sorry to the three. I was just speaking with him there a second ago. He said he felt like he messed up that corner and that left the door open for me to get there. Looking at the replay, I was on the brakes whenever I hit him. I was truly trying to keep it off him. Thomas has raced me nothing but clean in our time racing together, so I definitely wasn't trying to make contact there. Yeah, that was a sucky situation there at the end. Grateful to Justin Coleman for keeping it off me and Thomas there when we were spinning down to the inside. Yeah, so can't say where the transponder is, but I can say that.
Well, man, I mean, the transponder might be on the front end of your car, but either way, after some contact late race, you're still able to hang into second. You got anybody you like to thank tonight?
All the drivers, man, for sticking it out. That was kind of a rough race. We started with, I believe it was 18 or 19 cars, and we finished the race with, I think, 10 running. And, it was a race of attrition, trying to survive. And I knew that from the get-go. Like, for example, we got some damage fairly early before the halfway mark with the 97, and I think it might have been like the 18 or somebody in front of us. And it was some pretty severe left front damage. I was like, well, I could go back there, or I could go into the pits and get it fixed, but that would put me back in the swamp with all the carnage. So I figured, you know what, left front damage is better than risking more, and we did get more. But yeah, overall, can't complain with the second place finish other than how it happened. I would prefer to just follow Thomas to the line. instead of whatever that was at the end there. But big shout out to Ollie, getting his, I believe it's his second career win. There ain't a doubt in my mind that he deserved that win tonight. He led almost every lap of the heat race. He put it on. I don't think he put it on the pole, but he led almost every lap of the heat race. Led over half the laps tonight. No doubt in my mind, he deserved to win that race. And again, I want to apologize to Thomas. Thanks to the admin crew for putting this show on. Brandon does an awesome job as race control, and you guys for broadcasting, of course, and all the folks watching at home. We appreciate y'all watching through the carnage with us every Sunday night.
There you have it, folks. He's your second place driver, Danny Cochran.
Well, it looks like Justin Coleman's ready for us. We're going to bring him up. Oh, I brought him into the wrong channel once again. Sorry about that, Justin. Justin, you came home with a third place finish. What a wild last restart there.
Oh, you telling me? That was a handful. That whole race was a handful, honestly.
Yeah, we saw you sideways, backwards, every which way from Sunday. Kind of walk us through the longevity of the 120 laps, what it took for your recovery, and then through that last lap.
Shoo-wee. Well, started in the back anyway. Just tried to work my way up through, keep my nose clean, and kept getting involved in little incidents, and that pushed me back. And I don't know, I got to work my way up inside the top 10 and got in the back of somebody and got an EOL, so that put me to the tail end again. And I don't know, I just kept my nose down and tried to grind my way to the front and found myself in a good spot there at the end. Made a couple of passes and got up to third and thought I was going to get lucky in the C's part and get another win, but hey, I'll take a podium after that race. That was a wild race.
It was definitely a wild one, and like you said, you know, you come through almost everybody, you get that EOL, you come back through the field. Then you had 2 laps. You were racing side by side with the eventual race winner, Ali Fonseca. Do you think there was anything you could have done to get in front of him? Obviously, hindsight is 2020, but that side-by-side battle.
Right. Yeah, I felt like I had a pretty good car. If it would have been just me and him, I could have inched him out there at the end, but that last lap out of turn 4, that was just kind of a roadblock, and try to weasel my way through there and sneaked out third. So I mean, like I said, I'll take that any day.
Absolutely a phenomenal day for you. You're up 8 spots from where you started the race, but that doesn't even begin to count how many cars you passed. You had a super strong car today. Is there anybody you want to thank for such a strong run?
Yes, sir. I'd like to thank my friends over at Bad Company Racing. They took me in and showed me the ropes on this asphalt stuff. And I'd like to thank my sponsors, Gibbs Brothers Construction, BH Homes Construction, and Parker Brothers Window Tinting.
Well, awesome stuff. We appreciate you joining us. We'll go ahead and let you celebrate that podium finish. Hopefully we'll be talking to you in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, Corey, that's going to about do it for us. We saw some incredible short track action. It was caution heavy for sure, but doesn't discount the action that we got to see on the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. There was some good action out there, maybe a little caution heavy. But, you know, that was to be expected going into the bull ring at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And, you know, whatever happened in Vegas, they are going to keep in Vegas.
Yes, sir. And so, yeah, that'll do it for us here. I'm Liam Irving, up in the booth with Corey B. Thanks for tuning in. Ali Fonseca gets the job done. Danny Cochran, Justin Coleman round out the podium. We'll talk to you next week when the VASTT, the Virtual American Short Track Tour comes back. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and yeah, we'll catch you next time.